Carrying on the Northwood idea, certainly throughout my career, and one of my favorite stories I love to tell, and I was talking to some of the students yesterday in the Facilities and Events Management class, part of the ESPM program, and it was about 5 students. It was a nice, intimate little group, and they had a lot of opportunities to ask me questions, and I told them, they asked me, what was it like when you graduated from Northwood? What did you do? How did you choose where you wanted to go? And at the time, I had already accepted a verbal offer to work for the Chicago Bulls, and so I was dead set. I'll be back in Chicago working for a professional sports team. And I remember getting a phone call from Tim Nash, and he said, why don't you come to my office? I want to talk to you a little bit about how your career search is going, and want to make sure you're feeling good about where things are going. And so I remember going into his office, and he was telling me about one of our alums, Ed McBrien, who at the time was the president at Coors, and had mentioned to me, hey, why don't you potentially consider reaching out? I can connect you both. Maybe there's an opportunity. And I remember I thought, okay, well, why not? I'll give it a shot. I didn't know what selling beer entailed. I was picturing myself like in a cubicle with like a headset on. I had no idea what it entailed. But I thought, okay, why not? I'll keep an open mind. And I remember going through the interview process, and I made it through the phone interview, and I made it to the in-person interview. And I remember sitting down with, at the time, who became my boss, and 2 of my other colleagues that at the time when I became working at Coors, they were working on my team. And I'll never forget, he looked at my resume, and I had listed like all of my internships that I had done at Northwood, and all of the different student activities, and all of the different things that I've been involved in over the years. And he's like, wow, he's like, well, I've been working at Coors for 15 years, and your resume looks better than mine. And I remember thinking, well, that's because of Northwood University. And so I was telling the students this because I said, the beauty of it is anytime you're walking into the interview room, you're always going to be I said, sorry. I said, you're always going to be a step ahead because of all the things that you've learned at Northwood. And carrying through the entrepreneurial, sorry, I'm like sobbing. Carrying through the entrepreneurial spirit, and we all bleed blue, right? We bleed the baby blue, and we bleed the royal blue, and I certainly have since I was a baby, right? Always have. And so, them saying that definitely validated that everything I've done, all the hard work, and certainly the hard work of my grandparents and my family for doing what they've done and had such a big idea, and for making Northwood what it is today. It really taught me to work hard, and to really, we heard from Cindy and some of the other folks today that, those leadership skills and the believing in yourself and really carrying those values with you really take you, as far as you want to take it. And so I'm really humbled that Northwood is recognizing me with this award today, because certainly I've got big shoes to fill. Dr. R. Gary Stoffer and Willis Stoffer, my grandparents, they went through a lot to start this university. It's just, I think a lot of us that were here yesterday, like walking around the campus, and I come back every year for Auto Show, so a lot of it is really great to see every year, but just to see the look on some of everyone's faces, like, wow, I just can't believe how big and exciting and how much evolution has changed over at Northwood, and how beautiful it is. And it's always been a beautiful campus, but all the aesthetics, and so it's a great place to go to school. I preach Northwood anytime I can, even if I'm talking to a random person somewhere, maybe at the bar in Chicago. And so I will forever bleed baby blue and royal blue, and we'll continue to live forth the Northwood idea. So thank you, Northwood University, for the very humbling award. So thank you.